Hi. How is it going? Hello, hello. How do I sound? Is the sound good? Hi. Let's see who all's here. Hello, Fesh. Hello, Paco. Reza. I see Pluvius. Hello. And I won't forget YouTube chat. Evelyn Riley, Dark Excalibur. Winter. Hi. How are you doing? I would say we have a lot to talk about. Honestly, we don't. It's just gonna take a little bit. I've had better weeks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I have also had better weeks. I am right there in the trenches with you. Can't wait to get horse pilled. I also cannot wait to get horse pilled. Also, hi, Evelyn. Evelyn? Evelyn? You're gonna have to let me know. I'm very bad at pronunciations. Evelyn. Wait, is it Evelyn? Evelyn. Okay, gotcha. Evelyn, gotcha. I'm going to try my best to remember that. Just boot me. There have been some updates since the last time that I was streaming. Just call me Eve. Will do. You may have noticed if you're in YouTube right now that there's a new button on the channel. That is because we officially got monetized. So now you can join the channel and become a member. There are currently 2 emotes that I have so far. I will be adding more that you get access to if you become a member. And you can leave highlighted comments. Right? I will say, I do feel a little ripped off about the monetization thing. Because, you know, half of that came from the Vosh video. I can only imagine how much money that generated for YouTube. Sound is fine, but I was listening to today's Majority Report and listening to you talk about the sound while hearing DJ and art. Oh, yeah. If you're listening to 2 things at once, that will happen. Hello, Stranded Bauer. Nice to see you. How is it going? Oh yeah, I finally got Patreon set up too. The alpha males are back. Is the sound all right? True. Amazing. Now the bots are going ham in YouTube. I might need to update those. Seem like they are going awfully quicker than I thought they would. Yeah. Got the membership stuff set up, and I got Patreon set up, so you can donate to Patreon too. But yeah, I really don't have a whole lot to like talk about before we get into things. Bots are just happy to be here, just excited little guys, just excited little guys. You're just being a little guy. Oh, hello, Hellscape Wanderer. Have a great stream. I won't be in chat, but I'll be listening at work. Well, I'm glad that you will be here in spirit, even if you won't be in chat. Good to see you. Yeah, as far as like stuff going on, not really much. We got the monetization set up. Might be like putting out a call for people who might like want to volunteer to help stuff out. Right now I can kind of handle things as like as it is, but you know, the growth that I've been having here has been like really insane relative to what I expected. So if you know, I start getting a little bit more views, a little bit more subscribers and stuff, I might need to get some help with like editing and stuff. And of course, like if anyone ever wants to like reach out on that, like I will never say no. But yeah, guess we can start getting into the meat of stuff. Do we want to do the big thing first, or do we want to start off with a little fun? Because I was going to talk about some like trans rights bills, anti-trans bills today. I also wanted to talk about Hershey's because I think it's funny. I think talking about Hershey's first might actually be good. Hello, Spherical Cat. Good to see you. Oh, we got the cat roll. Wait, I haven't seen Dean's Shadow in chat yet. I bet you all could actually get a combo this time. Are we gonna do it? I don't know. We do got 4 now. We hit 10 last time. Although it would be like the Nth Shadow to not say anything in chat and then like make their first comment to break the combo. Hello, random person. Nice to see you. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to be on screen, you can head over to the site chat. The link is in the thing. If you put bang site, you can head over to the site chat and be on screen. Oh, hello, Tempest. We got the society meme. Nice to see you. All right, we can talk about Hershey's, I think. I think we'll start there because I think the anti-trans bill stuff is gonna be a little heavy. So starting out with some levity, I think, is good. So yeah, guess we can start. Hi everyone. We're gonna talk about something that I just saw today. Actually, no, I saw it yesterday. Today was when I actually looked into it, but I saw yesterday that this was trending. Turns out Hershey's has been based, and they decided to do an ad campaign. If you didn't know, it is International Women's Month, and so Hershey's decided to do. Oh, actually, they're doing it for International Women's Day, but it is International Women's Month. But Hershey's decided to do a campaign, an ad campaign for International Women's Day. They were highlighting a bunch of like women, I think, and we'll actually look at it here in a second. I got the ad campaign pulled up, but they're doing a campaign, and obviously this can never go right, because our favorite groups of people always show up whenever there is anyone who is not a cis man in position. Yeah, get those transitions in chat. True with Otro. Let's just take a look. So this is the campaign. They did hashtag her for she. See women changing how we see the future. This International Women's Day, celebrate the women changing the future in your community. They got a little video here, and they have little videos highlighting each of the women that they had for this campaign. Now, this was for Hershey's Canada. I believe they also did something for the US, but the controversy here is specifically this one. This is Kalisha Masala, founder of Girl Up Quebec. I really hope I pronounced her name right. Got a little blurb. Rita Audi, gender and education equality activist. Natalia Malou, climate tech researcher. Autumn Peltier, indigenous rights and water activist, based. And then we get to this one, Faye Johnstone, Two-Spirit LGBTQIA plus advocate. This would be the person that caused all of the controversy, because Faye is a trans woman. TERFs lost their mind about this. You can see Faye posted the ad campaign here. Little 15 seconds. We might watch it here in a second. Posted the ad campaign. 16,000 quote tweets on this thing. 16,000. Not 16,000. I'm sorry. 1,600. 1,600. It's not 16,000. But 16,000 would be way worse. 1,600 quote tweets. Look at this. 3.1 million views. Her for she sounds like a lesbian dating site. True gay fash. I would visit that site. Not gonna lie. So this is Faye Johnstone. She is a activist, co-owner, and executive director for Wisdom to Action. It's a consulting firm, it looks like. So yeah, this is an ad campaign designed to highlight women doing good. I think this is good, by the way. Is it a little rainbow capitalism? Yeah. But I have always like said that rainbow capitalism is still a net benefit, even if it is not preferable to actual like advocacy. I had to do math to join your side. I hate you for that. You know, it is it is gonna keep your brain healthy to do math. Random person. Also not my site. You can thank Xena and Poppy. My favorite kind of capitalism? True, Admiral Paco. My favorite kind of capitalism is rainbow capitalism. Please do not quote that out of context. Yeah, I think this is good. I think this is ultimately a good thing for Hershey's to do. And I think the people getting mad at this, like it's very funny. What this spawned was a hashtag, boycott Hershey's. I believe it also got lumped into get woke go broke for a minute. And it's just Nike part 2. It really fucking is. It's so funny. It's so funny watching them get mad about this. I'm not going to go through the quote tweets because honestly, I'm fairly certain there's going to be a shit ton of like actual death threats and stuff in this. I'm not willing to have my channel get taken down because a bunch of TERFs got mad. But it's good to see the representation, even if it's just advertisement. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, the thing with rainbow capitalism is it is unfortunate that it is a thing that we have to deal with. It's unfortunate that like we have companies kind of like taking advantage of like queer people for advertising purposes, but it is better that that happens than the opposite happening, because it actually does indicate some level of positivity in the public opinion. That's a lot of quotes. I'm scared. Yeah. Yeah, I will not be going through those because I don't want to get the channel busted. I'm even like hesitating to go through like I looked up Hershey's here because like yeah, I mean I'm even hesitant to go through the search thing because I'm really like scared. It's a small W, true. Dave D in YouTube chat, time to watch H Bomber Guy's Woke Brands video again. Yeah, true. I'm not gonna steal Xena and Poppy's thing though. They already did that. I just want to like point out that like that's what this is. Like this kind of thing is legit. Like this is going to draw attention to it. This is what I was saying about the Hogwarts Legacy boycott, is that boycotts don't work. People are like tweeting like boycott Hershey's. They're like gonna probably go out and buy a bunch of Hershey bars and then like melt them or some shit. It's gonna be really fucking funny to see those videos. And the thing is it does nothing. We can still criticize the hell out of rainbow capitalism and corporations in general, but sometimes we gotta pick the wins. Yeah, take your wins. Like that's the important thing here, is like this is an unambiguous win. Like pure Streisand effect shit. Yeah. There's nothing more depressing than going through quotes on the devil's website. True. Yeah, no, this is ultimately a good, is what I'm getting at. It's legitimately, this is good. It's good for representation. It's good because it shows a positive trend as far as like acceptance of trans rights and women's rights and, you know, general like progressive values. Like this is good. Companies don't, generally speaking, put this much money into advertising unless they think they can get a return on it. So to do like an ad campaign like this, sorry, to do like an ad campaign like this, where they are highlighting a trans woman like that, for one, that's actively like taking a position. Like I hate to break it to you, But that actually is like them taking a position. They are like standing with the trans community at least somewhat by highlighting this person. Like companies don't take that kind of risk. If there was like enough risk of real actual legitimate blowback to the way that they could lose money, they wouldn't do this. This shows that we are like on the winning side right now. Because companies pay attention to this kind of stuff. They pay attention to the amount of like they pay attention to the trends, like what people want. I don't get people who destroy products or still buying said products. Yep. And I would highly recommend watch H Bomber Guy's Woke Brands video. It is one of the best pieces of media that has been put on this website, and it is a very good analysis into why this thing is so funny, why it's so good to see this. Because like this is an unambiguous good thing. People are getting mad about it. Well, we can look a little bit at it. Trigger warning for like transphobia. Putting the face of a trans woman in scare quotes on chocolate bar wrappers with Hershey highlighted in honor of International Women's Day. Hershey's is erasing women. No, they're not. They're highlighting a woman. Some of the other women who are posting about it. Expect a white person as the face of their Black History Month campaign next. Yeah, this is fuck you. Like this is just like the woman face thing, letting a dude lead their campaign. Yeah, like they're so mad. They're so mad. Lot of red names. Featuring a male who wants women to have different political beliefs, so vilified they don't dare speak. Which perfectly sums up Canada in 2023. They're so mad, guys. They're so mad. Literally all at what like. Let's actually watch the ad. I actually want to watch the ad because this is only 15 seconds. And like they're mad about this. Let's see.
My name is Saige.
Why are my headphones not on? Cool. TERFism is a brain disease, and I'm glad it makes them miserable. True. What's a red name? This is the first time seeing it. Oh, I have Shinigami Eyes installed on my browser, which highlights people as being like pro or anti trans. Green is good. Red is bad. All right, we're gonna watch this.
My name is Faye Johnstone. I'm the executive director of Wisdom to Action. We can create a world where everyone is able to live in public space as their honest and authentic selves. See the women changing how we see the future at Hershey's Canada. My name
this was literally the most tame advertisement I have ever seen, and they are so mad about it. Literally nothing in this is like bad. Like there's nothing wrong with this, and they're so mad. They're so mad. Man cosplaying being a woman. Boycott has been trending here in the last couple of days because they used a trans woman in an ad for Women's Month. Yeah. Hershey's just lost another customer. They're so mad. They're so mad. Hello, Aztec. Good to see you. We are looking at TERFs being mad, which is really funny. Yeah, like obviously it's like hard to read some of this stuff, but you guys like this is funny, right? Like this is all for this. They'll forget about it when it's time to make cheap s'mores. Yep. Yeah, no, for real. All of them are going to buy Hershey's tomorrow. All of them. We can look at the rest of the ad campaign too. I actually kind of want to see some of this because like it looks like this is actually a pretty decent thing.
Je suis Kelly Samasala, and I'm the founder of Girl Up Quebec. Diversity and inclusivity are not options. Our generation can change things. See the woman changing how we see the future at Hershey's Canada.
Yeah, like literally there's nothing wrong with this ad campaign. And by the way, I will say this too. If Faye Johnstone wasn't included in this advertisement, they would be mad at all of the rest of them too. It's literally because we are like the main characters of discourse right now. They would be mad at like a black woman being the face. Like, oh God, would they be mad about the indigenous rights activist if it wasn't for us providing them the distraction? The only thing wrong with this ad campaign is that Hershey's chocolate kind of sucks. True, Fesh. Hershey's chocolate isn't that great. Like, it's not that great. It's okay. There's a lot better chocolate though. But hey, like this is good still. Yeah. I didn't have much to say on this. I just kind of wanted to laugh at TERFS being mad for a minute because I think it's funny. The wider Hershey brand has good stuff. Yeah, I think that's true. That's probably true. Yummy on s'mores, but I wouldn't get it to eat on the fly. Yeah. Really, that is the only reason I ever usually get Hershey's. I do kind of like the dark chocolate though. I think I almost exclusively eat dark chocolate at this point. Yeah. Hershey's does have dark chocolate, and it's not bad. There's better dark chocolate, but it is good. Cookies and cream Hershey's is pretty decent. Yeah. I like the cookies and cream. Like, I knew this wasn't going to be like a super coherent segment, so I apologize for that, but this was like too funny to not talk about. I really do think this is hilarious. Like, I don't have too much else to say. I don't like straight dark chocolate, but I do like dark chocolate and candy. Like the dark chocolate Milky Way bars are pretty good. Yeah, I do like straight dark chocolate. I will eat like straight up like 70% dark chocolate. But I do like dark chocolate and stuff too. In conclusion, rainbow capitalism, best capitalism. True. Rainbow capitalism is best capitalism. I mean, if I was trying to like make an actual like legitimate point here and not just laugh at TERFs for a couple of minutes because it makes me feel good, that point would generally be like partially for like us, we need to like take our wins, right? There will be people who will look at this campaign and they're going to say, oh, that's rainbow capitalism, like, you know, fuck Hershey's for, you know, whatever. Shut the fuck up. This is good. This is a good thing. This is an unambiguously like good thing. The only criticism I would have is if I remember correctly, it was like Mindy Kaling that they used for that here in the US, which like, but you know, to each their own. I think Mindy Kaling's a bit of a TERF to my knowledge, so kind of undercuts a little bit if Canada's doing one and the US is doing the other. But you know, I still want to celebrate wins where we can have them, and this is an unambiguous win. Like, and not just that, like it is good to see. I like seeing this. Like as a trans woman, it is nice to see a trans woman being like celebrated, not just for like not just as like a cheap advertising like thing of like, oh look how woke we are, but like literally like celebrating the thing that she does, like showing her like, you know, qualifications, the work that she's doing. It's not just about celebrating a trans woman. It's over this like broader context of like equality and you know, celebrating the work that she's doing. And I think that's really nice to see. So yeah, I mean, the other thing is like they're doing the boycott and it's not going to work. It's just going to cause Hershey's to get more money, and it's going to make them more relevant, and it's going to do the opposite effect. Just like what happened with Nike, just like what happened with Hogwarts Legacy. Like it's just the same thing over again. They'll boycott until Easter. True. Come Easter, they will set aside all of their problems. It's just like with the M&Ms thing. Like last year when they wanted to fuck the M&Ms but were mad that they couldn't fuck the M&Ms. All of them bought M&Ms again. Every single one of them, like a week later, they all bought M&Ms again. They're going to buy these. So yeah, that's all I really got to say on this. I just wanted to make fun of TERFs for a minute. So I guess I guess we will end this here, and I will see you later. Go team. Oh, the stream is not over. Random person. Just so you know. The stream is not over. I've still got more to go. That was just one segment. I want to know which pickle brand comes out in support of the trans community first. So do I. Any brand, like if a pickle brand came out in support of the trans community, like that would be based as fuck. That right there is like true trans culture. There's so much potential there. I am in fact a pickle girl. Hey, none of you know this, but I have an entire jar of pickles. Like I have just been snacking on. I can just go get it. I'll just like the rest of the stream is just gonna be me eating pickles. As a trans girl who hates pickles, I cannot agree. You know what? That's valid. I was a pickle bitch before I knew I was trans. Egg moment. Egg moment. That was what cracked mine. Pickles are a great snack and they're basically no calories, lol. Yep. Be down for some pickles if I could chew. You'll get there, Aztec. I think Dave's would be the first, honestly, and they'd do it by making a vaguely sexual hot pickle joke. You know, I'd be down for it. I would be down for it. Pickle crunch ASMR, not clickbait, true. I'm personally an olive peep. Yeah, olives are really good too. I like olives a lot. A Costco membership so I can get big ass pickle jars. I wish that were me. I don't have Costco where I live. There is nothing wrong with making a sexual pickle ad. True. Thought Pluvius was talking about Dave's Killer Bread. No. Dave's Spicy Pickles. And Wheels Midwest Sushi. Gonna learn how to deep throat pickles so I can eat them without chewing. Aztec, I'm sure you already can deep throat pickles if you try hard enough. You just gotta put your back into it. Imagine buying pickles, not making them at home like our ancestors intended. True. I actually I do make refrigerator pickles sometimes. Olives is where you lose me. Oh no, I will chomp down a can of black olives, Pluvius. Legitimately, when I was growing up, my sister and I both like olives. I like the green ones, she doesn't. Um, but when I was growing up, when we would go to like extended family holidays and stuff, they would literally like buy like special cans of olives for us because we would just eat them. Charcuterie boards make me melt from the inside out, I swear to God. True. Ever had a muffaletta? I don't think so. I don't think I have. All right. We've talked about olives and pickles enough. We're gonna have to get into the meat. We're gonna have to get into the actual stuff I was gonna talk about. An olive lover stream. I will have to try them. I'm always down to try new olives. I love olives. All right. Are we ready? My cat's been bouncing around. The meat and potatoes. Olives and pickles with pastrami on rye. Taste. I haven't had pastrami in a long time. All right, let's do this. Yeah, get your cat rolls in. Let's see if we can make another combo. I still not seen Dian's shadow today, so either somebody's going to have to take up that mantle, or we're gonna get a good combo. Oh wow, nice. We got 4 so far. Can we get more? 5. We did have 10. I believe in you. You are, in fact, the most base chat. Whoops. I've discovered that trans women can experience PMS symptoms that can actually line up the same time each month. I went to die, it hurts. Yeah, unfortunately, that is true. You are in my thoughts right now. F in the chat. Actually, no. Give energies for Evelyn. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm glad to know that it's not just Poppy and Xena that can't get like large combos. No one can. Can I make fan art of you cradling a jar of pickles like a baby? I will legitimately, yes, I will take literally any fan art. That would be so fucking cute. Demon Mama can get large combos because she really works the chat to coordinate. Yeah. Yeah, I mean Demon Mama does have like the kind of energy to be able to do that. She really is good at that. That sounds like effort, true. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. We're getting stun locked. From another streamer, apparently the best way to get fan art is show off fan art. Actually, yeah, maybe after this segment I can show off some fan art. I've gotten thus far. There've been a few drawings. One was actually fan art for Poppy and Xena, but it was like of me. And then of course, there's a couple of others that I've gotten. Not like really fan art, I guess, because it's like actual friends drew it, but it's still good. But yeah. Yes, like a proper streamer Aztec, we're getting stun locked on pickles, olives, and fan art. Also, hi Tisha. All right. Once again, if you're in YouTube chat and you want to be on screen, go to the site chat. at transgirltherapist.org/live. We're going to get started. Hi, we are going to talk today about anti-trans bills. This is going to be a bit of a heavy subject, so if it's something that you can't really handle, there's no shame in clicking off or taking a break. Coming back later, it is perfectly fine. We want you to take care of your mental health. But I'm hoping that by the end of this, we can have a little bit of a hope pill, so it's not going to be all bad. You know, right? Self-care is important, Paco. All right, let's do this. So, if you haven't been paying attention, and if you're in my chat, you probably have, because chances are you are plugged into this. There are a lot of like anti-trans bills going on, being passed or being debated or being introduced in state legislatures, and it kind of sucks. Honestly, it really fucking does. We're gonna go over some of those a little bit and kind of talk a little bit about them, because I think it's important to the overall context of things. I honestly, I'm trying to kind of do this in a way that I think is going to be is going to be good for providing hope to people. We're going to start off with some of the more like harder stuff, but we're going to get into the positive stuff. So if you want to dip out for a bit and then come back with the positive stuff, that's fine. But I do think that knowing what's going on and then knowing how we can move forward is good. So with that out of the way, so I have been on here and I have compiled a list of stuff. If you don't know who Erin Reed is, or Erin in the Morn on Twitter, she is an activist and a journalist, and has been tracking anti-trans bills for a while. Highly recommend following her if you want to keep yourself informed on this. She's really good. I've got her map here of the trans legislative risk map. She updates this occasionally, and we'll just look at the full thing here. So this is her map of how she has assessed each state. And we're going to get into it a little bit because I think it's important to look at this in the broader context. She's got the worst states, high risk states, moderate risk states, low risk states, and then the best states or most protective states. Obviously, there are more high risk states. My cat is meowing at me. She wants out. Hold on. Come on, you. I love it. I love it when I get interrupted. Anyway, high risk states are obviously the thing that we are most concerned with right now, because these could very well move further up into the worst states, right? There's a lot more of these than there are here. Why that is, kind of scary is because, obviously we don't want more of these. We don't want really, really bad states. The reason why we've got Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and Utah are considered the worst ones. That is based on the types of bills that they have passed, or the types of bills that they are considering. We've got things like weaponizing Department of Family Protective Services against trans people, bathroom laws. Oklahoma has a bill. I think we've actually got Yeah, that might be this one too. A ban up to the age of 26. Alabama and Arkansas have passed laws that will detransition all trans teens. Florida has banned Medicaid coverage for trans adults and is banning gender affirming care for trans teens. It's bad. I heard Tennessee just passed an anti-drag bill today. Outlaws public drag events. Yep, we're gonna get into that one too. There's a lot of high risk states, obviously. You can see my state is one of them, Indiana. West Virginia is apparently a really big one. Imminent risk of higher risk category. West Virginia is pretty bad. Missouri, Mississippi, North Dakota. Like, there's a lot of high risk states here. There's some moderate risk states. The lower risk states are Michigan, Minnesota, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada. Like, I don't want to give you the impression that like all hope is lost. I'm giving you this as the context of this is what we are fighting. This is what we are looking at. This looks pretty bad when you look at it overall because there's a lot of red here, right? There's a lot of red, and it looks like that could be getting worse. Yes, it is good to know the scope of our problems. We need to know like what the full thing that we are looking at here is. So let's go through some of the stuff that is happening. I want to highlight this Vice article real quick. This kind of goes over a little bit broadly. Current legislative session has seen more than 350 anti-trans bills, including 36 states. That is insane, by the way. Like, that is insane. Just in the current legislative session. All right, we're going to read through this. There are already twice as many anti-trans bills making their way through state legislatures across the U.S. as there were in 2022. The current legislative session has seen more than 350 anti-trans bills introduced in 36 states, according to new data released by Trans Legislation Tracker, an open-source site that tracks proposed and passed anti-trans legislation. That's compared to about 170 in 2022, also a record-breaking year. In fact, 2023 is the fourth consecutive year marked by a record-breaking number of anti-trans bills. Quote, year after year, anti-trans legislation has pushed the boundaries of demonizing trans people and limiting their visibility and agency, Andrew Bales, the creator of Trans Legislation Tracker, said in a statement to Vice News. The national legislation emerging this year should make it clear that this is not a limited attack, it is a hateful vision for our country's future. Anti-trans bills are being proposed at the state and national levels, from proposed legislation in Wyoming that would equate gender-affirming care to child abuse, to a federal bill that would codify neurobiological definitions for man and woman. Since the 2010s, state lawmakers have introduced legislation that effectively shuns transgender and non-binary people from public life, including sports bans that prevents trans students from playing on the teams that match their gender identities, bills that force people to use bathrooms that correspond to the gender they were assigned at birth. By many metrics, 2022 was one of the worst years yet, as lawmakers and conservative pundits doubled down on anti-trans rhetoric and policymaking, effectively mainstreaming the hate targeting trans people and their families. The consequences were stark. Families with trans kids started moving out of their homes in states like Texas, Alabama, and Arkansas, and healthcare facilities that care for trans people, especially trans youth, have become the target of coordinated right-wing harassment campaigns that have resulted in bomb threats. Experts say this year could be even worse. So far, 3 states, Utah, Tennessee, and South Dakota, have passed bans on gender-affirming care, and the South Dakota law included a clause that forces trans youth to detransition. Oklahoma proposed a never-before-seen bill that would ban gender-affirming care for people under the age of 26, and a failed bill in North Dakota tried to introduce fines for teachers and other public sectors if they use trans people's correct pronouns. We're seeing an escalating effort to erase trans people from public life, Bales said. The sheer number of bills is overwhelming, and they're having a deep impact on the health and well-being of trans people, individuals who bring authenticity, courage, and joy to their communities, Bales said. Gender-affirming care isn't harmful. In fact, it's life-saving. Numerous medical governing bodies, including the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and the American Academy of Pediatrics, have endorsed gender-affirming care for minors. So this is a based Vice article, by the way. I want to highlight this, by the way. This is fan-fucking-tastic that this was even included. A lot of times, a lot of news sources aren't even including shit like this. The fact that Vice is just sitting here saying, actually, no, fuck you, by the way. This isn't harmful. This is good. This is good. We need more of this. Wait, my birth certificate says I'm female now. Would they like to edit it? I don't actually know if that's something that can happen. I suppose it technically probably could, but I'm in the same boat. Like, my birth certificate actually got updated too. And Indiana is one of the states that is trying to prevent that from happening, so I actually don't know. I don't know how they would do that, honestly. But this is a good article. Notice too that they like highlight the American Medical Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Psychiatric Association, and the American Academy of Pediatrics. All of these organizations have endorsed gender-affirming care. Would depend on specific legislation. Yeah, I figure. All of these are endorsing gender-affirming care. This is good. This is good journalism, by the way. Let's look at a couple others. My home state. It's from WFYI, which is a PBS station in Indianapolis. I'm not going to read the entire article. I've already read it, but essentially, Indiana is introducing like a shit ton of anti-LGBT stuff. And it's not just like anti-trans stuff. This affects the entire queer community. But let's take a look. So, 5 bills would ban gender-affirming care for trans youth. House Bill 1589 would expand the time frame for medical malpractice claims against providers for gender-affirming care to 15 years after the patient turns 21. Malpractice lawsuits for care provided for minors older than 6 years old have 2 years to file claims. There's also a bill to significantly limit what gender-affirming care is available to trans people who are incarcerated. It would ban people who are incarcerated from surgical transition procedures. It was amended in committee to allow access to hormone therapies. Well, thank you. It is the only one to limit care that has received a committee hearing, which is good. Education bills. There have been some bad ones. We've had some forced outing bills. We've had bills that would limit classroom instruction. This was, we just had our version of the Don't Say Gay bill went in committee a couple weeks ago. I believe that's this one. Ban schools and third-party vendors from instruction for students from kindergarten to 3rd grade on gender roles, stereotypes, fluidity, identity, expression, or sexual orientation. Yes. And Senate Bill 386 would also limit teachers from, quote, promoting certain concepts in areas such as age, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, creed, color, marital status, familial status, mental or physical disability, religion, or national origin. Damn. They were thorough there. The legislation would also create a way for parents to file a complaint with the school district over classroom instruction. This bill was scheduled for a committee hearing but removed from the calendar. Again, it's hopeful at least that a lot of these aren't being heard, but part of the overall trend of a giant amount of bills. We got forced outing bills, identification. HB 1524 would ban any changes to a person's gender on their birth certificate unless there was a clerical error or certain medical tests revealed they were intersex. It is a very good fucking thing that I have already amended my birth certificate. Parental rights, child removal. House Bill 1232 and House Bill 1407 both seek to codify that the Department of Child Services may not remove a child from a home solely because of their gender identity and not providing gender-affirming care to the child. They're trying to protect parents who want to, like, forcibly not allow their child to transition. Full House still needs to vote on the bill. House bills must be passed by committee by February 21st. So I will have to look in to see if any of these have been passed, because it is obviously past February 23rd. Kentucky. We've got a bunch here. I believe one of these was just in committee today. Under House Bill 470, gender transition services for trans kids would be virtually barred statewide. Gender transition is broadly defined, applying to any service meant to, quote, assist a person with a gender transition. This would include things to help youth transition socially, like using the student's correct pronouns or new name. Physical and mental health care providers found to have helped provide transition-related services, which are backed by major medical organizations, to those under 18 would lose their licenses. If those providers work at a place receiving public money, the funding would be pulled. I cannot express to you how fucking insane this is. Healthcare providers would be required to report providing any type of gender-affirming care to someone under the age of 18 within 30 days. If they don't, they could face criminal charges. They would also be liable should someone sue over services they provide, while providers who refuse to provide such services would be protected against legal, professional licensing, and disciplinary pursuits. This bill is called the Do No Harm Act. It is sponsored by Representative Jennifer Decker. If you live in Kentucky, especially if you are one of Jennifer Decker's, if you are in her district, you need to be bullying the shit out of this person. You need to be calling her office. Throw eggs at her door. I don't care. Don't do that. I would never advocate for any illegal activity. You need to be bullying the shit out of this person. This is stuff that cannot be passed. Okay? Throw eggs in Roblox, call phone in real life. True. Listen to Paco. The Kentucky General Assembly's fixation on transgender kids is beyond belief, Chris Hartman, who leads the Fairness Campaign, said on Wednesday. Though less than 1% of the total population, trans kids have been the target of more than half a dozen bills by state lawmakers already this year. True. By the way, that is literally the case. We're literally talking about, like, people are making these laws for, like, 3 people. This was the drag ban that was passed in Tennessee. It bans public drag. This is what Aaron Reed said. We'll just read this. Terrible news. The first drag ban is passed in Tennessee and goes to the governor's desk. It could easily ban Pride. It bans public drag. It bans transgender people performing who are just living their lives. It charges them with a felony. It is blatantly unconstitutional. It is an offense for a person to engage in adult cabaret performance on public property or in a location where the adult cabaret performance could be viewed by a person who is not an adult. Preempts an ordinance, regulation, restrictions, or license that was lawfully adopted or issued by a political subdivision prior to the effective date of this act. Yeah, this is bad. This is insane. I also found this. This is another short list of stuff from yesterday. Bills that were being heard. An Arkansas bill that would give public schools and colleges the right to use a trans person's old name and pronouns. The Senate bill would charge trans adults with crimes if they enter bathrooms while minors are in them. Bans trans students from changing gender marker without an updated birth certificate, could be read to force outing in some situations in Georgia. Iowa banned trans students from bathrooms. Iowa drag ban that would also arrest parents. Missouri don't say gay bill. Tennessee define trans people out of the law entirely. Define sex in such a way that it excludes transgender people entirely for all state legal purposes. Tennessee, 10-care ban on all insurances that cover gender-affirming care. Oklahoma's total funding ban for trans adult gender care would ban all public funds from going to any organization that provides gender affirming care, including to trans adults, would also ban gender affirming care for incarcerated adults by virtue of that. And then, of course, New Mexico has a positive one, would protect government interference and access to gender affirming care or abortion. So at least New Mexico's got a good thing. This. How did Republicans come away from the midterms and think, wow, I guess our problem was we didn't go far enough? Yeah, true. No, like for real. This is bad. Here is the Oklahoma bill would effectively end adult trans care. And then there is the map. Yeah. So I wanted to go through all of this because it is unfortunate to see, right? It really fucking sucks. I hate this. It is honestly really scary. It is insane that so much time and attention is being focused on us. We are like the main characters of 2024 right now. As far as like the Republicans are concerned, we are the main focus here. And that sucks. There are things, however, that we can do. And we're going to go through with that. Because whereas all of this is bad, there is some good that we can look to. There is some way that we can kind of hope pill ourselves, that we can look to ways that we can act in order to help fight for a better future. Hope is good. Yes, hope is good. So let's look at that. Our dear mod Paco gave me some resources, some good things that are coming out of this. So for starters, let's take a look at this: the Minnesota House of Representatives. Minnesota House of Representatives has a bill aiming to establish Minnesota as a trans refuge state. Essentially, this bill would actually make it to where like other states' laws can't prevent people from getting trans healthcare or gender affirming care if they need to flee their home states in order to get it and go to Missouri, or I'm sorry, Minnesota. California did a similar thing. Yep. This is good. This is also in Minnesota. I believe this is the actual bill. You would like to read that, you can. It is HF 146. Or wait, now. Yeah, House Bill 2002, I guess. Minnesota, don't flee to Missouri. Yeah, do not flee to Missouri. Maryland. Medical Assistance Program, Gender Affirming Treatment, Trans Health Equity Act. We can look at the synopsis. Requiring beginning on January 1st, 2023, the Maryland Medical Assistance Program to provide gender affirming treatment in a non-discriminatory manner, requiring that the gender affirming treatment be assessed according to non-discriminatory criteria that are consistent with current clinical standards, prohibiting the issuance of an adverse benefit determination related to gender affirming treatment unless a certain experienced healthcare provider has reviewed and confirmed the appropriateness of the determination, etc. Again, this is good. This is coming out of Maryland this year. Oregon has a bill would mandate that insurance cover all gender affirming care, surgeries, hormone therapy, FFS, hair removal, all of it. Oregon would be the 4th state to mandate such care. Every Senate Democrat co-sponsored the bill. That is important to point out, by the way. That is so good. This is good. No spoilers. No spoilers, Eve. Fucking based, yeah. Let's look at this from Michigan. Today, The Michigan Senate voted to amend our state's Elliott-Larsen Civil Rights Act to explicitly include protections against discrimination for LGBTQ Michiganders. I was proud to stand with Jeremy Allen Moss and everyone who's fought for far too long and vote yes. This is from Mallory McMorrow, Michigan State Senate Majority Whip. We can look at this.
I will never forget the day that the United States Supreme Court decided on marriage equality. I remember taking pictures of sidewalk chalk. I remember taking pictures of the celebrations that occurred around me. And this was something that didn't impact my life in any way. It didn't make my life any better. It didn't make my life any worse. But I recognized in that moment that finally my friends and my neighbors had the same rights that I've had. I am a straight Catholic woman married to a straight Jewish man. Because of who we are, I cannot be fired from my job. My husband cannot be fired from his job. We cannot be denied a mortgage. We cannot be denied housing. The reality is that most of us in this room today enjoy those same protections. But some of us in this room today do not. Some of us in this room can be fired from their jobs simply because of who they are. Some of the people in this room can be denied an apartment or a house, not because of sexual desires or actions, but simply because of who they are. And we have an historic opportunity today to right a wrong that should have been righted decades ago. Every single one of us in this room has to recognize that granting those around us more rights and more protections does nothing to strip away our own rights and protections. This is an incredibly proud day for the state of Michigan, a state that is signaling to the rest of the country that no matter who you are welcome here. You will be protected here. You can find a job, a career, doing what you love, and a place and a community that you can call home. I'm incredibly proud and grateful to this legislature and my colleague for working on this for so many years, and I'm proud to stand in support of this today. Thank you.
So that was in Michigan. That was yesterday.
I will never forget.
Nope. That was yesterday. New Mexico. Reproductive health provider protections. This would help protect gender-affirming care and reproductive health. So Eve actually pointed this out a little bit ago, something that Vosh looked up. But this is also something that I want to point out. This was a poll from Kentucky asking, would you support or oppose a proposed Kentucky law that would allow the state to overrule parents' decisions to obtain certain health care for their transgender teenager, such as certain medications that can regulate the onset of puberty? 71% of people in Kentucky oppose this. That includes 62% of Republicans. 62%. Now, it's not quite the 83% of Democrats, but 62% of Republicans oppose this. This is not popular. This was something that I just saw today. Powerful speech halts bathroom ban in Arkansas. Essentially, this lovely fellow here, Senator Clark Tucker, pointed out that the bathroom ban that was being debated in Arkansas was entirely unfinished. There was just multiple lines of text that was just blank, the law was not well crafted. And in going on this rant to appeal to the other senators who care about like procedure, it actually got the bill to not go through. It actually stopped it from going through. Now, it would be bad if that bill like gets fixed and then goes back, but it gives us time. This is good. I do want to go back to this. When we're talking about having hope for this kind of stuff, when we're talking about not falling into doomerism, the thing that I want to get across to everyone is that we are on the winning side of this. Popular opinion is on our side. Look at this again. 71% of the state of Kentucky does not support this kind of stuff, and 62% of Republicans. This is not popular. We are winning in the quote court of public opinion here, and that's important. That is really important. A lot of people will hear that and will think that that doesn't matter, but it really fucking does. Having us be supported by the majority of people does lead to people on down the line being more actively in support of us. I said this in a previous segment, I think, but the way that we generate support for issues does matter if popular opinion is on our side. It does matter if laws get passed. So when we have positive stuff like this coming through, this is what normalizes it. And as someone in chat said earlier, I didn't see the name. Yeah, Luzerk. As Luzerk said in chat a moment ago, the hate is manufactured. This is entirely manufactured by Republicans because they don't have the popular vote. They have to cheat. Conservative commentators have to focus on attacking trans people to draw their base attention away from Republicans' unpopular policies. True. They're using us as a scapegoat and using us to draw attention away from other things that they're doing. That's why they're going so hard on this. It's why they did the same thing with CRT a couple of years ago. And notice how that fizzled out. They keep having to find new things to put into the culture war in order to draw attention away from all of their other policies. We're just the most recent example of this. The GOP relies on exploiting the undemocratic parts of the American political system. True. The point that I'm getting at here is we are winning. Ultimately, we will win. It seems hopeless right now because there is such a quantity of anti-trans bills that are being introduced. The Vice article is said over 350, I think. That's a lot. It is worth noting that not all of those will go to committee. Not all of them will get voted on. And not all of them that get voted on will get passed. That is just the nature of bills that go through. In politics, a lot of time, like 90% of bills that are introduced will never see the light of day. And this is going to be no different. But I don't want people to get complacent and think that the fact that a lot of these are going to be are not going to make it to committee doesn't mean there's any like issue, doesn't mean that there isn't a danger to them. There obviously is a danger to them. The thing is, we are on the winning side. And there are things that we can do. Over the 170 that were proposed last year, over 90% failed. See? I want to go through some things that we can do. The first thing I'm going to advocate is a classic, If it is smart for you to do so, consider getting personal protection. Obviously, if you have some sort of like mental health issue that would make it not a wise decision, or if there's some other reason. But generally speaking, get a gun, arm yourself, learn how to use it, take safety courses, take self-defense courses if they are accessible to you. There are usually resources in any area that can help. Protect yourself, protect your family, build community, find people around you. There are oftentimes queer organizations or groups of queer people. Build that community. Find people around you that you can rely upon should there be issues. Get a passport if you can. I know it is very expensive. It is hard to get and maintain, but if you can get and maintain a passport, it is a really good idea to do so. At least like pepper spray or something. Yes, pepper spray is better than nothing. Like, yeah, get a big dog. Like, you know, do something. Get a big dog. Get like, just get a dog. Like, it's probably not gonna be scary, but just like get a dog that like will look scary. You know? That's personal stuff that you can do, but there are other stuff that you can do. Pepper spray is illegal. Carry around some Axe body spray or something. That's actually probably not a bad idea. Get a comically large machete. True. Those are personal things that you can do, but we can also do stuff more broadly speaking. So I have some resources here, also provided by our dear Paco. So this is the LGBT Equality by State map from Movement Advancement Project. You can click on any of the states. It will show rankings for each state and all of the U.S. territories on tallies. It separates with like gender identity, sexual orientation, and gives an overall view. I have not looked through all of this, but it seems to be a pretty good resource. Any of these resources that you want to put in chat, by the way, Paco, feel free to do so that people can look at them. But I want to give things that we can do. Here are some other resources. You can go through Legiscan, which will allow you to look for, I believe, it looks at legislation that's being tracked. At openstates.org, you can find your legislator. If you don't know who any of your local politicians are, look it up. Find them. Start emailing. And I'm being serious. A lot of people will really like underestimate the amount that actually helps. Politicians do like listen to this stuff. There are ways that you can actually like maximize the effectiveness of emailing your politicians too. Keep your messages short and sweet. Make sure that you are letting them know that you are in their district. You want to indicate that the issue that you are talking about is something that is going to affect your vote. And you also, I want to point out, don't just be reactive on this. While we're looking at this stuff, it's easy to to contact your legislators. To let's say you're like me, you live in Indiana. It's easy for me to contact my legislator and to say, hey, I want you to vote against this. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to bully my representatives. I have in the past. I'm going to continue to. I'm going to continue to be a thorn in their side. But you can also email them or send them letters. I don't fucking care, like whatever you want to do. You can also be proactive on this. Let them know that you care about this particular issue. Tell them you want more positive legislation. Physical letters are more annoying and harder to ignore. True. Send physical letters. Send emails. Send letters. I don't know. Put like a rock that's been painted with your message like on their doorstep. No, that might actually be considered harassment. Don't do that. But you get what I mean. You need to bully them. And you can be proactive about it too. Don't just be reactive. Say, I want you to care about this issue as much as I do. Yes, coordinate with your friends. Mail them all on the same day. Make sure that they get all of it at the same time. I've not talked about this in the past, at least on stream. If you're friends with me, you probably know this. I have done like actual work in the past, in like public office. I don't want to give like too much information to like dox myself, but like I have actually done work related to this. Like I have actually done canvassing and stuff for a political campaign. This stuff works. This is the stuff that matters. You actually, like, a lot of people really don't seem to comprehend. A lot of, like, local politicians are the most important thing. You are never going to get to talk to Mitch McConnell if you are living in Kentucky, but your local county council person, your local like your mayor, you can talk to them. You can send them letters. You can send them emails. And by the way, this is not to say that you shouldn't try to contact Mitch McConnell. You should. You should bully the fuck out of that man. But you can contact these people. A lot of them will talk to you. Especially if you live like in a smaller town. You can show up to city council meetings, like Paco said. You can go to these meetings. Most of the time, they are open to the public. Their times will be posted to the public so that you can know where to show up and when. There are resources that you can find to get these. And I will be more than happy. Anyone who wants to DM me later, like I will be more than happy to help walk you through a little bit of like trying to find this stuff, because the resources are pretty simple. A lot of it is stuff like this. You can go to this website. I'm going to put it in chat. I'm going to put it in both chats. You can go to this website. You can find your legislator. Find your state and local ones. And your federal ones. Email them. If there are protests in your area, show up to them if you can. If you can't, do like actual like online advocacy work. Post about them. Get into contact with some of the groups that are doing this. There are oftentimes a lot of like organizations that will put on protests, that will put on events or demonstrations, or even just like awareness events where you can go and just, you can post about those. You can just share them. Is it the same thing as necessarily going to protest? No, not necessarily, but it is good. And it does help. I remember a BLM protest at my school that actually got someone expelled for saying the N-word. Yeah, I mean, like, stuff like that does happen. Republicans got to take over huge swaths of the country because their voters do this. Yes, because they actually get out and do this shit. They actually, like, do work. Like, I know when I go to vote, whenever I go to, like, my local, like, courthouse and stuff, there's, like, 5 Democrats usually. There's, like, 20 Republicans. Like, they get out there and do this. We need to be doing this. And the other thing, too, I want to make clear what this does is it causes, because we're mostly going to be trying to talk to Democrats here, right? Because like it's good to bully the Republicans too. It's good to email them. Like my representatives are mostly Republicans, and I'm still going to email them because it's good to do that. But like we also want to talk to Democrat candidates, potential ones, even if you don't think they have that much of a chance. We need more of them who are taking a hard stance and not being silent or being just tepid about it. Like it's obviously good that a lot of like Democratic politicians have been like signaling some limited support for us, but we need them to be more open about it. We need them to be more aggressive about it. I've been seeing a lot of this from people like AOC being way more like out in the open, talking about trans people being fucked over by Republicans, and it's really good. We need more of that. And we need more of it at the local level, because the local level is what is going to ultimately protect us. At the community level, that is where normalization happens. It doesn't just happen like at the national level. Obviously, it is bad when we have laws like this being passed nationwide or like statewide, but at the local level, your community is what is going to cause normalization to occur. And normalization is our biggest asset in terms of granting us protection. The more people we have on our side, the less they are going to be able to actually like act, because they won't have popular opinion on them. Yeah, mobilization is very important. The NRA is successful because they pressure as many politicians as they can. Yes, true. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Hi, Penny. Thank you. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? We are talking about things that we can do, because it is easy to look at all of this here. Like when I look at this is shit that like affects me, right? Like this is in my state, Indiana. I look at this and this makes me upset. Like this really makes me afraid. I hate seeing this stuff. It is very, very clear that Indiana is like not a safe place for me. But there are things that we can do. There are steps that we can take that can help us out, that will make it easier for us to move forward. Indiana's got to be rough. Illinois neighbor here. Yeah, Illinois is actually, I believe, if I saw correctly on that map, Illinois is one of the safest protection states. It's pretty rough. And it's easy to look at this stuff and feel hopeless, feel like there's no point, feel like it's all going to not work out. Like Paco mentioned earlier, 90% of those bills introduced last year didn't go anywhere. And that is going to be the case this year too. Now, we've already seen double the amount that happened last year just in this legislative session, just since the beginning of the year. And that sucks. Most of that is not going to go anywhere. That doesn't mean it's not dangerous. We still need to work on fighting the reason why the culture war thing is like so important is because we need to fight that normalization of anti-trans rhetoric. But there are things that we can do. Arm yourself. Get involved. If you can't be physically involved, find things that you can do online. Find things that you can do from home. There are a lot of organizations that if you have the like capability, like if you're, you know, not like me and have the social capability to do, like you can do phone banking. You can just talk to people. Find local community. I already, like, in my area, I have found like 4 organizations recently that all do like demonstrations, events, protests. I want to be a little bit more involved. I'm going to be a little bit more involved in these. I'm going to be reaching out to some of them. I know some of the people involved in them, so I already have like a little bit of an in with some of them. Look for these. Get involved in them. See what you can do. If you can't have much to do in person, see what you can do online. Posting is praxis. It's not everything, but it is praxis. You can do this. Protect yourself. Find community that can help protect each other. Bully your representatives. Before the end of the stream, and probably before the end of the video too, like I will post this link again. Find your legislators. Contact them. Let them know that you find this issue important. You want them to vote against anti-trans bills. You want them to introduce like pro-trans bills. That's the other thing too. I don't want you to just be reactive. Be proactive. Let your legislators know that you want positive trans bills. Michigan just had, we'll switch back over because I want to highlight this again. Michigan just had their amendment to the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act. We need more stuff like this. Email your representatives. Let them know you want more stuff like this. Not just voting against the bad stuff, but introducing positive stuff. And yes, like Paco said, when they passed pro-trans bills, write them to let them know that you approve. It does go a long way to give them praise. I mean, it seems like really like shitty to say that, but like it really does go a long way to just let them know like, hey, I'm grateful that you did this. Please continue. It tells them that their constituents want that. Yes. Senators all have a praise kink. It's true. You kind of have to have a praise kink in order to be in Congress. That is the case. Whenever I run for office, you will know the reason why. Sounds like I should be a senator. Yeah, true. I'm on my senator arc. Yes, Paco Saige 2024. But do you all know what I mean? Do you all get this? I don't want to just keep like repeating myself, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But like, the reason we went through all of the negative stuff was so that I can highlight the positive stuff. I don't want you to just look at all of this stuff and get the idea that it's hopeless or that it doesn't, that like nothing is ever going to work. There's a lot of stuff going through. We have medical care bans, drag bans. Even in this article here, this one here that I included in the negative stuff, Aaron Reed does note like more positive legislation. Maryland Trans Health Equity Act, Oregon's bill, the Refugee Protection Bill, New Mexico's, like all of these. This was before the Michigan thing too. These are all good things. There is hope here. Not just because there's positive stuff going through, but because we can affect stuff. We can do things that can affect change. Doomer is unproductive, get mad. True. I mean, if you're gonna get angry, like channel that. Right? Like channel that anger into something that is productive. I would rather you be like angry and effective than to be like sad and ineffective. Hell, I'd rather you be sad and effective. It's not actually wrong to feel like upset. I don't want to give that impression either. Like, it is valid to look at this stuff and feel distressed. I look at this stuff and feel distressed. Like, I feel sad when I look at all of the bills that are being fielded in my state. That does make me upset. That's valid. I don't want you to think that it isn't. But it is equally valid to look at this stuff and see an opportunity, which we have. I said this during the Trump video. We have an opportunity to take control of the narrative a little bit because we are being put in the spotlight. We just talked about the Hershey's thing earlier. I know it wasn't like a super serious segment, but we just talked about that. That's normalization. That is stuff that is actively making it easier for us to get ahead. And the fact that there's, people like Faye Johnstone being highlighted, that's a good thing. It shows a positive trend. And there are things that we can do. Weaponize your anxiety, true. I don't really have too much more to say. I don't want to just continue to ramble. I hope all of this makes sense. We don't want to be doomer about things. We want to have hope. It is easy to get lost in the cavalcade of like negative trans bills. But there are things that we can do. There are things that we can do to affect change. Find your legislator. Bully your politicians. Let them know when they do something good. Let them know when they do something bad. Be proactive. Find organizations, find community, get a gun, protect yourself. Again, if it is safe for you to do so. Take self-defense classes. That's about all I got for this. I'm just rambling at this point. So yeah. I hope this was helpful. I hope it kind of gives you a little bit of a hope pill about the state of things. Because even though it is hard to look at this stuff, there are some beacons of hope that are shining through, and there are things that we can do to make things better. Yes, get a hopium combo going. That would be the perfect end to the segment for you all to get a hopium combo. We can do. I believe in you. I believe in all of you. Well, there's one thing we can't have any hope for. It is that this chat can get a combo. I mean, I know you're gonna try. You're gonna try again. But yeah, that's all I got. So I will see you. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Go team. We almost got the combo. That would have been nice. That would have been a nice one. How are we doing? This was a pretty heavy one, I know. It was definitely hard to look at some of that stuff. Hope beam to both chats, yeah. How much makes a proper combo? Well, the highest combo we've ever had was a 10, I think. The highest one we ever had was a 10. I'm late. Hi all. I hate to let you know, Red Rebel. Glad to see you, by the way. I hate to let you know we just finished the main segment. So now we're just kind of chilling. Sadly, a duplicate message restriction nailed me. Yeah, that happens. Only the only Xena, Poppy, and I are able to actually like cheat. I didn't have any plans to like. I didn't have any plans to do any other kind of thing unless anyone has some suggestions, but figure we could just like chill for a bit. You can keep streaming. I'm gonna keep streaming, Penelope. I've got the time, and also like that was a hard thing to talk about, so I'm good taking some time and just chilling. Besides, last time we had like a little bit of chill time. It was a nice little fun time. All of the Voshites that are here, like found out that I have the worst media takes of all of the left streamers. Or fatigues. Just check on Twitter and find some random shit to make fun of. True. There's probably a ton of that, if I'm honest. Saige is the perfect bookend to Poppy and Xena. They spend an hour and a half just shooting the shit at the beginning. Saige spends that hour and a half shooting the shit at the end. True! That's so true. What are your bad media takes? Oh, where should we start? Should I start with the big one? Should I wait on that one? I can. Nope. Yeah. Yeah. Little Miss Panda Gal, we're not engaging with her. Yeah, we're not engaging with her. It's very clear that that at this point it's actually just like digital self-harm on her end. And I don't want to feed into that. How good Iron Fist is? I do enjoy Netflix Iron Fist. I'll just drop that. Vivigenic and YouTube chat said these bills make me feel like there's a timer on my life. I understand that. I do understand it. But there is hope. There are things that we can do. For everything that we can do, it gives us the ability to take a little bit of control in the situation. Obviously, there's not like a lot that we can control, but there are things that we can do when we, collaborate with others. Come to Michigan? Yeah. I mean, you can do that. I like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage all right. I actually really liked all of the Defenders series. I really liked all of them. Daredevil's obviously like classic. Jessica Jones was really good. Luke Cage wasn't exactly like my favorite, but it was really good too. Did you think Nosferatu is the best horror movie? I don't really have like a whole lot of like horror movie opinions. Do you like Nickelback? Okay, so here's the thing about Nickelback. I actually don't think Nickelback is horrible. They're not like good. They're not like good, but I think people like oversell how bad Nickelback actually is. It's just like standard 2000s rock music. Like most Nickelback songs are fine. Okay, that's a fine take. I need worse. Fine. Fine. Fallout 4 is the best Fallout game, and Fallout New Vegas sucks. Bye, Aztec. No, I'm not. I'm actually not. I'm actually not just saying shit to make you angry. That is actually my opinion. Sorry, we're gonna have to confiscate your trans card. You're a cis woman now. uh, that was good. That one was a good one. You really like the shoot shoot bang game then? Yes. Favorite Nintendo property? There are only wrong answers. What are you talking about? There are good Nintendo properties. I generally like Pokemon sometimes. I haven't really been a huge fan of it since X and Y, but I do generally like Pokemon. Um, I think Mario is fun. Most Mario games. Mario Odyssey is really fun. Like I legitimately have considered going back to that one recently. I'm not a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I actually I came to the conclusion that I just don't like Zelda games like a year or so ago. I had to admit that to myself because like I kept finding myself not liking any Zelda game that I played outside of Breath of the Wild. Like I liked Breath of the Wild. I thought it was fun. But I was not a fan of like any Zelda game, and I thought it was like I just didn't like specific Zelda games, but I think I'm just not a huge fan of Zelda. Sonic was meh. Most Sonic games are meh. I think people really oversell how good Sonic is. And I am gonna like I am going to I'm gonna alienate all of the Sonic OC having furries in chat by saying that, but like yeah, I do think Sonic is mostly mid. It's not bad. Like most Sonic games are fun to some degree. Just not my thing, I think. Sonic Rush was peak. Sonic Rush was great. Rune Factory Stories of Seasons. I've actually never played them. My ex-wife actually played those a lot, and so I learned a lot about them, but I've never played them myself. They do not seem like the type of game that I would generally play. Well, Rune Factory maybe. Story of Seasons not really that much. Though granted I've picked up Stardew Valley a little bit and kind of enjoyed it, so you know, maybe I would enjoy Story of Seasons if I went back to it. Harvest Moon, to my understanding, like doesn't Harvest Moon suck now though? Because like Harvest Moon, like the original series, is now Story of Seasons. Anything after like I think 2010 or something like that that was released as Harvest Moon is like an entirely different franchise now, and like all of them suck to my understanding. Everyone's favorite Zelda game is the one that came out when they were 12. True. Although that's not true for me. My favorite Zelda game is Breath of the Wild, and I was already well into my adulthood when that came out. Yeah. I actually like do I want to go into the Zelda thing? I feel like that one's going to actually be the thing that's going to trigger more people than the Fallout New Vegas one. Because that one's just inflammatory, but my opinions with Zelda are just like I just don't find them that fun usually. And I like it might be like I might be like aging myself here, but if any of you have seen Ego Raptor's sequelitis video on Ocarina of Time versus A Link to the Past, like I really like that video. It's kind of old YouTube as far as I'm concerned, but like I really like that video's like discussion of the mechanics of of the 3D Zelda games versus the 2D ones. Wait, what did Aaron do? Yeah, what did Aaron do? To my understanding, Aaron's fine. JonTron's a piece of shit, but I thought Aaron was fine. Yeah, he's just kind of annoying. He's just kind of like a bro. I cannot confirm any of those claims. Luzerk. So like if you want to like DM me that stuff, like I'll look at it, but to my understanding, I thought Aaron was fine. Danny did a bunch of shit and got bounced from the team. Wait, when? I thought Game Grumps was still Aaron and Danny. I know they've been doing more like them like individually making stuff recently, but and also I want to point out the stuff with Danny was, to my knowledge, I like some of it was entirely like made up and then some of it was stretched a lot. Yeah, he had grooming allegations, but those allegations weren't proven. It it was yeah, it was mostly fabricated. That's not to say that Danny like didn't do some like bad stuff. It looked like he did a lot of like groupie, like rock star type of behavior. Yeah. Yeah, the allegations against Dan, some of them were like made up and some of them were like stretched. And it's like the stuff that he was guilty of, like the kind of like abuse of power, like, you know, talking to fans, that kind of thing. Like it's not great, but it's also kind of like industry standard as far as like musicians go. Like I don't know. I still listen to Ninja Sex Party. I haven't watched Game Grumps in a while though. Worst I can say is kind of shitty. Yeah. That's pretty much my opinion. Hell, I even like even at least in the last year or so, I remember seeing a clip from Game Grumps where like they were talking about something in the episode and a it was about like an athlete or something that had transitioned, but they hadn't come out before the episode was recorded, but had by the time it was airing, because they usually like I believe about a month out on recordings, and like they had talked about some athlete that had transitioned, but because they had talked about them pre-transition, like they were obviously like dead naming and misgendering them. And I believe they issued like a whole thing at the beginning of that episode, like saying, hey, trigger warning, this is what's going to happen, and also like trans rights. Like it was nice to see. Which kind of makes sense. I think that to my understanding, people have been calling Aaron an egg for years. Not an athlete. Oh, I'm not exactly sure who it was. I just remember like seeing the clip. I don't actually remember who it was. I would trust Aaron with my Orky. Aaron's just wacky, not an egg. Yeah, that's true. Wind Waker is the best Zelda. I don't know. I haven't played Wind Waker in a while. I do have it. I just haven't played it in a while. I mean, my personal leaning is towards Breath of the Wild, obviously. I am excited for the new one. If they can actually like fix some of the issues that Breath of the Wild had and make like a really like fantastic game, it could actually be like a really good Zelda game. Y'all got to do better. If you want me to give like the really hot takes, you're gonna have to be better with your questions. I'm excited for the new cooking. New cooking. What new cooking? Thoughts on Taylor Swift? Like her or her music in Breath of the Wild. Ooh, there's new cooking. Either my position on Taylor Swift's music is, eh. I do wish that like I do wish that people would play different Taylor Swift songs. Not because any of them are necessarily bad, but because like stop playing the same ones. I go to work and I just hear like the same two Taylor Swift songs. I don't really have very much thoughts on her like as a person. Seen any new Eurovision entries? I actually have not been following that. One of the mods, Gabriel, has been telling me a little bit about it, but like whenever we've been in chat together, but I haven't been following it that hard, so I don't really know that much. How's Willow doing? She left during at the beginning of the segment, so I assume she is curled up on the couch in the living room. That's where she usually is. Did you like Stranger Things? I've never watched Stranger Things. You ask for art, here it is. Wait, we got art? We got Saige fan art? Oh, this is so cute. Let me get that up. It's a work in progress. That is fine. We're gonna show this one out on screen. As soon as I can get it pulled up. I have like very poorly managed files. Just so you know. Wait. Oh, god damn it. I saved it in the wrong spot. That's why. Okay. Ah, here we are. I don't want to Cool. There we go. God, that took way too fucking long. Is it? It's so cute. I like this a lot. Thank you. I can't wait to see the final version too. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. All right, what else you got? We're just chilling while we're speaking of fan art. I DM'd you the cradling pickle jar art. Wait, really? Did you send it on Discord? Oh my god. That's fucking adorable. That's so cute. I love that so much. Amazing. You mostly TV, music, YouTube. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of TV. I probably have like opinions on some TV things. Um, I do listen to music. I have a weird music taste. And as far as like YouTube goes, I probably am not like as well versed in YouTube as I could be. But I mean, if you got something that you're gonna like ask me about, just like you can ask. You say you like Pokemon, but the critical question is what's your favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon is it's a tie between Glaceon and Sylveon. Have you watched any internet comment etiquette videos before? I don't know. There's a good chance that I have, but I don't actually know. Fun fact, the background is a fried color swap grainy depiction of hell. That I mean, like as somebody who's been doing discourse recently, that's about what it kind of feels like, so I think that's a good thing. I think they're fairly interesting politics wise, though that isn't their main thing. I'll definitely give them like a look. I've never actually like I don't think I've ever actually seen them. I know the name. Did you see the Zizek thing? I did not. If you want to link it, I'll look at it. We can look at it real quick. What did he say? Yeah, where's Delinky? Ghostwriter allegations? I have not seen this. Bosch did the segment? You mean the Saige clone? The most well-known Sage clone. True. Cisgender Sage. True though. I will still never get over that comment. It was like you're like Xander Hall if he was a woman. Sage but with iron flags. True. That's how you know Vosh isn't trans. Sage clones all the way down. Sage plus Vosh equals squash. Wait, where's the Q coming from? You're all Sage clones. I was the first streamer. Q is for flavor. You know, that's important. You got to add a little bit of flavor. Here's the link. All right, let's take a look. Maybe. Okay. Let's look. Wokeness is here to stay. Slavoj Žižek. Oh, so this is like an article. So were the were there allegations that this was like ghostwritten? This article is pretty bad. Okay, I mean, we can look at it. It is, but people say it doesn't read like him. Well, let's take a look. Let's see. Wokeness is here to stay. Some claim that wokeness is on the wane. In fact, it is gradually being normalized, conformed to even by those who inwardly doubt it, and practiced by the majority of academic, corporate, and state institutions. This is why it deserves more than ever our criticism, together with its opposite, the obscenity of the new populism and religious fundamentalism. Let's begin with Scotland, where Nicola Sturgeon's government pushed wokeism and LGBT oh god. My sensors are going off with the word wokeism. Where Nicola Sturgeon's government pushed wokeism and LGBT causes almost to the end. In December 2022, it hailed a historic day for equality after Scottish lawmakers approved plans to make it easier for individuals to legally change their gender, extending the new system to self-identification to 16 and 17-year-olds. Based, by the way. Based. Basically, you declare what you feel you are, and you are registered as what you want to be. What is the issue here? Who woking theism? Does not sound like him and needs more sniff noises. I'm not gonna try to do the impression. All right, let's keep going. A predictable problem emerged when Isla Bryson, a biological male convicted of rape, was remanded to a women's prison in Stirling. Oh God. Why do we have to keep doing this? Bryson decided that he was no longer a man, only after appearing in a court on a rape charge. So we have a person who identifies itself. What? Tactical it's. Oh God. As a woman using its penis to rape two women. God damn it. I'm so tired. It's quite logical if maleness and femaleness have nothing to do with one's body and everything to do with one's subjective self-definite. Why is Slavoj Žižek like doing like TERF shit? One must put a penis-having rapist in prison with captive women. After protest, Bryson was put into a male prison. Again, this is problematic under Scottish law since we now have a self-identified woman in male prison. Does it get worse from here, guys? Sturgeon resigned because she alienated a part of the population that isn't anti-LGBT but simply rejects such measures. The point here is that there is no easy solution because sexual identity is in itself not a simple form of identity but a complex dimension full of inconsistencies and unconscious features, something that in no way can be established by a direct reference to how we feel. Someone needs to watch Xena and Poppy's video. Definitely doesn't get better. Okay. The recent controversy about the use of so-called puberty blockers concerns another aspect of this same complexity. The Tavistock Clinic in London was ordered by higher authorities to restrict the use of puberty blockers that suppress hormones and in this way pause a child's development of sex-based characteristics such as breasts. Tavistock was administering these drugs to youngsters between 9 and 16 who appeared not to be able to choose their sexual identity. What? What? Tavistock's clinicians reason that there is a danger that youngsters who can't determine their sexual identity would make an enforced choice under the pressure of their environment, thus repressing their true inclination to be trans, mostly. Puberty blockers were necessary to allow such youth to postpone their entry into puberty, granting them more time during which to reflect on their sexual identity before deciding on it at a more mature age. Puberty blockers were administered to almost all children sent for assessment at Tavistock, including to autistic and troubled youngsters who may have been misdiagnosed as uncertain about their sexuality. In other words, life-altering treatments were being given to vulnerable children before they were old enough to know whether they wanted to medically transition. As one of the critics said, a child expressing gender distress needs time and support, not to be set on a medical pathway they may later regret. Okay, so first of all, puberty blockers are safe and effective. They're like generally reversible. That like, oh God. Oh, I don't know that I have time to go into all of this. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Life alter. There are so many layers to why this is like bad. The fear of puberty blockers is dumb. Yeah, it fucking is. Like this shit is like, for one, most of this is like reversible, right? Like, and most kids aren't being put on puberty blockers for like 1,000 years or something. Like they're literally like being put on for long enough to decide if they want to transition. Like, yeah, puberty is also life altering. What are we like? Like again, oh wait, hold on. I need to like look this up real quick because I just wait, hold on. Did someone send this to me? I just saw like a thing about the regret rate among trans people. Wasn't it like fucking like less than like, it was like 0.3% or something like that? Like, I think someone sent me this. I need to look at it. A fraction of one. Yeah, it's like a fraction of 1%. Less than hip replacements, less than knee surgery. Yeah, like the isn't like the regret rate for like hip replacements and knee surgeries like close to like 30% or something like that? Like it's absurdly high. Cis kids get puberty blockers if we start too early. Yeah, true. That's the other thing is like we literally put cis kids on puberty block. Like, oh my God. I need to find this statistic. I know there was like a new like a new one, a new article. Let me see. This might have actually been it. Oh yeah, this was a study. Journal of the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. Regret after gender-affirming surgery, a multidisciplinary approach to multifaceted patient experience. That is the name of this. Results. Total of 1,989 individuals underwent gender-affirming surgeries. 6 patients, 0.3%, were encountered that either requested reversal surgery or transition back to their sex assigned at birth. when whoever wrote this article, I mean, if Zizek actually did like get it ghostwritten, I don't know if that's like true, but whoever wrote this article, when they say that like, oh, something they may later regret, 6 out of almost 2,000. Like, the regret rate is almost non-existent. Oh, and puberty can start as early as age 8 or 9. I literally went through puberty at 9. That's not considered normal. Yeah, it's not considered abnormal. Yeah, like puberty like is weird, and puberty blockers are fine. All right, we're in it now. Let's do it. Paradox is clear. No, it's not. Puberty blockers were given to allow youngsters to pause maturity and freely decide about their sexual identity, but these drugs may also cause numerous other physical and psychic pathologies, and nobody asked the youngsters if they were ready to receive such drugs with such consequences. Wait, I'm confused. Are they able to like make these decisions or not? Because we were just saying that they weren't capable of making the decision to take them to begin with. So why are we... What? Dr. Hilary Cass, one of the critics, wrote, okay, we're going to find out who this person is, because 90% shot this person's TERF. Oh god, there's so much red on my screen right now. A British medical doctor and a consultant in the pediatric disability at St. Thomas Hospital, London. Okay, so she's British, and she is a doctor. I'm going to guess she's a TERF. Especially given the fact that there's a lot of red on my screen. I could be wrong, though. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of like just random articles, but nothing like definitive. Oh no, British. All right. Does it still say edited by at the end? I guess we will find out. We have no way of knowing whether, rather than buying time to make a decision, puberty blockers may disrupt that decision-making process. Brain maturation may be temporarily or permanently disrupted. Wait, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I haven't done a like shit ton of research into that, but that is not something that I have ever seen. That like puberty blockers affect brain maturation? What? I have never fucking heard that before. That sounds like just like speculation to like justify your already existing belief. They do? Okay. They can pause it, but it's reversible. Okay, I will take your word on that. Wash had graphs. I'm sure he probably did. I'm sure. Okay, I will take your word on that if it does, but like, there's one study with a small sample size that alleges this. Okay. We're just going to take the median position here then. Like, puberty blockers have already been shown to be safe, effective, and reversible. So like, even if this is the case, it's something that wouldn't be a long-term problem. Saige's screen was so red and British it was trying to colonize India. True. One should take a step even further in this criticism and question the very basic claim that arriving at sexual identity is a matter of mature free choice. There is nothing abnormal in sexual confusion. What we call sexual maturation is a long, complex, and mostly unconscious process. It's full of violent tensions and reversals, not a process of discovering what one really is in the depth of one's psyche. I don't know that I agree with that entirely. like there is like a fluidity to figuring out like your identity as far as like your like orientation, your identity and stuff, and it can like fluctuate and change over time, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's like not a process of discovering like what you really are. Like it just means that like information over time changes how you like how you feel about certain things. Like it's not. Yeah, no, that I don't know. At many gender clinics across the West, doctors feel compelled to adopt an unquestioning affirmative approach. One critic noted, with little regard to other underlying mental health crises troubling children, the pressure is in fact twofold. For one thing, clinicians are cowed by the trans lobby, the powerful evil trans lobby that has all of the institutional power and affects discourse. As has been said on this site, emergent self-schema. True. Which interprets skepticism regarding puberty blockers as a conservative attempt to make it more difficult for trans individuals to actualize their sexual identity, because that's what it is. This is compounded by a financial compulsion. More than half of Tavistock's income, for example, came from the treatment of youngsters' sexual troubles. In short, what we have here is the worst combination of politically correct battering with the brutal calculation of financial interests. The use of puberty blockers is yet another case of woke capitalism. Oh my god. Bruh. Oh, so we were the ones pushing laws to make it illegal in every state? True, yeah, like it. No, it was totally not Republicans that were pushing these laws. Yeah, head desk. Jesus Christ. Okay. Has anyone like fact checked this, by the way? Tavistock. I don't know this example. Like do I look like I am terminally online? Smooth brain. Tavistock. What's the actual name of the company? The Tavistock Clinic. Wait. Tavistock is a town. What, like, are we talking about one hospital? Like one clinic? They didn't even mention the name of it. So it's someone's gonna have to fact check this. I think they put them out of business. Got a link. All right, I'll show this one. This one's funny. Oh shit. Well, cool. All right. Wait, actually, I don't know if I can show this on screen. Yeah, yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know that I can show this one. Might be a little too spicy. I'm using Vivaldi. And I did. It like restored everything. Still annoying. All right. Anyway, let's keep going. We're into this now, so let's just keep going. Where were we? At many gender clinics across the West, doctors feel compelled to adopt an unquestioning. Oh wait, yeah, okay. We already. To be sure, both of these controversies has resulted in at least partial victory for anti-woke forces. Sturgeon resigned, and the Tavistock Clinic was closed. But the forces at work have a momentum that far exceeds the views of individual politicians and the dynamics of particular institutions. If anything, individuals and institutions are constantly attempting to accommodate themselves to strictures coming from elsewhere rather than imposing them top down. It is therefore certain that similar scandals will continue to multiply. What are we talking about? Like, this is like basically a gender clinic made money doing gender affirming medicine it was created for. Yeah, like that's like, what else do we expect? Like like this is proof of the conspiracy. This clinic that was created to do this work did this work. Like, it's woke capitalism for a clinic that, like, to make money doing a thing that it was created to do. What? As if interest group agitation and the compulsions of capital weren't enough, wokeness can also draw upon reserves of religious strength. In our official ideological space, of course, wokeness and religious fundamentalism appear as incompatible opposites, but are they really? Oh God. Cancel medicine now. Oh, the Tavistock Clinic didn't permanently close. It's changing into a multi-city location because demand was so high. Oh, that's funny if true. Yeah, send me the link, Paco. Nearly a decade ago, the ex-Muslim activist Mariam Namazi was invited by London's Goldsmiths College to lecture on the topic Apostasy, Blasphemy, and Free Expression in the Age of ISIS. Her talk, which focused on Islamic oppression of women, was repeatedly and rudely disrupted by Muslim students. Did Namazi find allies among the college's feminist society? No, the feminists sided with the Goldsmiths Islamic Society. This unexpected solidarity is ultimately grounded in the similarity in form of the two discourses. Wokeness operates as a secularized religious dogma, with all the contradictions this implies. John McWhorter, a black critic of racial wokeness, has enumerated some of them in his recent book, Woke Racism. You must strive eternally to understand the experiences of black people. You can never understand what it is to be black, and if you think you do, you're racist. Show interest in multiculturalism. Do not culture... Like, I swear to God, the problem is that I haven't actually, like, I haven't seen a lot of the examples that we're talking about, so I can't even really, like, I can't tear into them that much because it's like I can't confirm. I have to assume based on what I know so far. Like, we've already got like fucking like misgendering someone for the purposes of this. Like, I have to assume that the recounting of events here is probably like unreliable. All right, let's see. Headline is misleading. Read the literal second sentence. Okay. So let's do that. Why is it tiled like that? Okay. No, bad. Okay. NHS to close Tavistock Child Gender Identity Clinic. Literal second sentence. All right, let's go. The NHS is to close the UK's only dedicated gender identity clinic for children and young people. Tavistock and Portman NHS Foundation Trust has been told to shut the clinic by spring after it was criticized in an independent review. Instead, new regional centers will be set up to ensure the holistic needs of patients are fully met, the NHS said. So it's literally, they didn't close it. They just were like, we're closing this one. We're opening a bunch of other ones. Like, of course, the headline is misleading. It's an article from the BBC about good thing for trans people. True. One clinic isn't enough. We need more. We need more. Why are we in the bad timeline? Okay. This is no exaggeration. Anyone who doubts the movement's repressive potential would be well advised to read A Black Professor Trapped in Anti-Racist Hell, Vincent Lloyd's account in Compact of his encounter with wokeness at its worst. I'm not reading it. I don't care. At least we aren't in the worst timeline. We have Dark Brandon as president. That's fair. We're getting there, though. Lloyd's credentials are impeccable, a black professor and director at the Center for Political Theology at Villanova University. He is the former director of his university's Black Studies program, leads anti-racism and transformative justice workshops, and publishes book on anti-black racism and prison abolition, including the classic text Black Dignity: The Struggle Against Domination. What are the like odds? What is the over-under on this being entirely misrepresented? That like all of this being like fine, being like a good article or something, and like this article is like intentionally misrepresenting it to make it seem like it's saying something it's not. Like I'm not going to read the article or anything because I actually don't care that much. But I really like, I'm starting to get the feeling that that's what this is, that like this person wrote an article where it was like, hey, this person wrote an article that was basically just like the article version of like the puritanical progressivist list. And then it's like, Slavoj Žižek comes in and says, ah, yes, this is why the trans people are bad. Like, in the summer of 2022, Lloyd was asked by the Telluride Association to lead a 6-week seminar on race and the limits of law in America, attended by 12 carefully selected 17-year-olds. 4 weeks later, 2 of the students had been voted out by their fellows, and Lloyd himself was soon ostracized and booted. In his last class, each student read from a prepared statement about how the seminar perpetuated anti-black violence in its content and form, how the black students had been harmed, how I was guilty of countless microaggressions, including through my body language, and how students didn't feel safe because I didn't immediately correct views that failed to treat anti-blackness as the cause of all the world's ills. Woke survivor, true. The wokeists have gone too far. Lloyd compares these trends to that moment in the 1970s when leftist organizations imploded, the need to match and raise the militancy of one's comrades, leading to a toxic culture filled with dogmatism and disillusion. I'm starting to like actually think that's what this is, by the way. I'm starting to actually think that this person like was legitimately like talking about like what we would call like the puritanical progressivist, and like this article is intentionally misrepresenting that so it can like be bigoted against trans people. Yes, there are leftists that suck the pee-pee. That is true. But more crucial than content was the conflict of forms between seminar and workshop. Lloyd tried to practice the seminar and exchange of opinions. One intervention builds on another, as one student notices what another student overlooked, and as the professor guides the discussion towards the most important questions. Seminars usually focus on a particular text, and the participants try to uncover its meaning patiently. By contrast, in the sort of anti-racist workshop that Lloyd critiques, the dogma is clearly established, and the exchange focuses on how and where somebody knowingly or unknowingly violated it. As this person, whose name I'm not willing to try to butcher, has noted, the universe of PC workshops is the universe of Bertolt Brecht's... What is that? Ossiger? I don't know. I'm not like, I barely speak English properly. Everybody says yes again and again, and the main argument against those who are not accepted as sincere partisans is harm. Here is how harm works according to Lloyd. Oh no. I think I'm being proven right in real time. During our discussion of incarceration, an Asian American student cited federal inmate demographics. About 60% of those incarcerated are white. The black students said they were harmed. They had learned in one of their workshops that objective facts are a tool of white supremacy. Outside of the seminar, I was told the black students had to devote a great deal of time to making right the harm that was inflicted on them by hearing prison statistics that were not about blacks. A few days later, the Asian American student was expelled from the program. Okay. I'm willing to actually like put money that this person was doing like unironic 1350 shit. And like arguing that that like white people are actually the ones most oppressed. Like it's either that or this was like made up. Like that, yeah, that shit didn't happen. Yeah, like because I've been to college. Like I've seen like incidents like this where like a student who is like racist will like bring up like these statistics, and it's always like they will say, oh, like 60% of those incarcerated are white, like so white people are actually the ones being discriminated by like the police and the justice system. And then a black student will say, well, actually, if you look at the actual statistics, sure, 60% of those incarcerated are white, but that's mostly because, you know, there are more like white people than there are black people in the country. You have to look at the statistics like per capita, like within the context of like the demographics, and that actually shows like an actual real like discrimination between black people by the police. And then this person will say, oh, they're saying that facts are a tool of white no, like you were just misrepresenting the statistics. My sources that I made it the fuck up. Yeah. Dr. Hilary Cass was commissioned to look into Tavistock. Her report advocated for a massive expansion of trans healthcare. She's just quoted by TERFS because the one Tavistock clinic was closed. That checks out. So I guess we can add Slavoj Žižek to Team TERF. Like, oh god. All right. Two things should surprise us here. First, this new cult combines belief in fixed, objectivized dogmas with full trust in how one feels, although only the oppressed blacks have the right to refer to their feelings as the measure of the racist guilt. A critical confrontation of arguments plays no role, which implies that open debate is a racist white supremacist notion. Objective facts are a tool of white supremacy. Yes, so that, as Trumpists used to say, we need to generate alternative facts. Oh my god. Like what? We're just going into like enlightened centrist territory now. This doesn't read like other stuff he's written, so maybe he's really brain dead on this issue. That could be. Like I don't know if this is like ghost written or anything, but I want to take it like on its word. Nobody said that about objective facts. Yeah, like I want to take this on its word, so I'm just going to like assume that this is not ghost written, but like yeah, I think he's got to be like just like really bad on this. Let's see. Okay, let's see. We got a new link from Paco. NHS urged to drastically expand trans youth healthcare by independent review. An interim report from the Cass Review, commissioned by NHS England, has boldly suggested that having more than one service for trans kids in the entire country could be a good idea. NHS England commissioned Dr. Hilary Cass, OBE, a former president of the Royal College of Pediatrics and Child Health, to conduct a review of healthcare for trans youth in the UK in 2020. On Thursday, March 10th, Cass released an interim report calling for regional centers to care for trans and gender diverse youth across the UK as soon as feasibly possible. So, yeah, so legitimately, and this is from last year, so legitimately, it's just like they closed the one clinic, and so like TERFs are quoting this person even though like she literally said the exact opposite thing. I got $5 on AI. Maybe an AI did write it. Maybe this was AI generated. To be clear, there is a kernel of truth in this. Those who are brutally oppressed can't afford the deep reflection and well-elaborated debate needed to bring out the falsity of liberal humanist ideology. But in this case, as in most other cases, those who appropriate the role of the leaders of the revolt are precisely not the brutalized victim of the racist oppression. The woke are a relatively privileged minority of a minority allowed to participate in a top-quality workshop of elite university. Yes, the all-powerful elite woke. Holy shit. This is actually like I'm sorry for not trusting you, chat. Apologies for interrupting, but I finished the painting. Ooh. Yeah, let's take a break for a second. Take a break for a second. I'm not gonna not watch it. Let's look at. That's so good. I like that a lot. That's so cute. Why does it keep doing this? It's so cute. Thank you. All right. Going to where? Okay. That's fine. Okay. Are we ready to continue? I like the first sketch the most for some reason. No, it's nice. It's all really good. Okay. Let's keep going. Second, the mystery resides in the functioning of the big other, the Telluride administrative authority in this case, the view gradually imposed on all by the awoken black elite. The awoken black elite? Good night, Pluvius. The awoken black... Oh my god. That might actually be the funniest thing I've read today. Was the view of a minority, initially even among the black participants, but how and why did these few not only succeed in terrorizing the majority, terrorize? What is this language? Yeah, awoken. Awoken. But even compelling the Telluride Association to take their side and decline to defend Lloyd, why didn't they at least assume a more nuanced position? How does wokeness, although a minority view, manage to neutralize the larger liberal and leftist space, instilling it in a profound fear about openly opposing the woke? Okay, I'm just gonna say the word nuance is like a dog whistle now whenever we're talking, like whenever like this kind of stuff is being said, like this is just a dog whistle. Oh my god. Psychoanalysis has a clear answer to this paradox, the notion of superego. Superego is a cruel and insatiable agency that bombards me with impossible demands and mocks my failed attempts to meet them. It is the agency in the eyes of which I am all the more guilty, the more I try to suppress my sinful strivings. The old cynical Stalinist motto about the accused at the show trials who profess their innocence, the more they are innocent, the more they deserve to be shot, is the superego at its purest. Okay. I'm not like, I haven't taken a lot of like philosophy or psychology yet, so I can't really speak to it. Like Poppy would be a much better person to ask about this, but I'm going to assume it's probably bullshit, just because the rest of this has been bullshit. Just for now. Psychoanalysis is largely debunked pseudoscience. Okay. And did McWhorter in the quoted passage not reproduce the exact structure of the superego paradox? You must strive eternally to understand the experiences of black people. You can never understand what it is to be black, and if you think you do, you're a racist. In short, you must, but you can't, because you shouldn't. The greatest sin is to do what you should strive for. This convoluted structure of an injunction, which is fulfilled when we fail to meet it, accounts for the paradox of superego. Okay. The thing is, even looking at this quote, like, again, this is why it leads me to think that this is intentionally misinterpreting something that is probably fine. Like, you must strive eternally to understand the experiences of black people. You can never understand what it is to be black, and if you think you do, you're a racist. There, like, what this is getting at is that, like, there is like truth that you should try to understand the experiences of Black people as best as you can. But it is also true that you can't truly like put yourself in someone else's shoes. It's impossible. Like it is impossible for me to completely understand the experiences of Black people in like totality. I don't have that ability. It would be racist of me to think that I have like the ability to understand Black experiences in its entirety. The point is that you should try to. That's not to say that like, you know, you should listen to Black voices in like the sense that like you should always like take them for like face value or anything like that, or that like they're always correct. The point is that like you should try your best. There's nothing contradicting here. I'm looking at the Vincent Lloyd article right now. I guess it's impossible. I guess it's possible Lloyd's story actually did happen. But even if there are bad leftists and those events happen, that doesn't mean all progressivism is invalid now. Yeah, like that's the thing. Even if it did happen, it wouldn't matter. Like it doesn't change anything. Yeah, at some point you have to choose whether to listen to Al Sharpton or Candace Owens. Yeah, I literally made that joke already. And I got called racist for it. Like, here we go. As Freud noted, the more we obey the superego commandment, the guiltier we feel. The paradox also holds in the Lacanian reading of the superego as an injunction to enjoy. Enjoyment is an impossible real. We can't ever fully attain it, and this failure makes us feel guilty. This again, I don't have enough knowledge in psychology, sociology to really like touch on this too much, but like, no. I'm just gonna say like, unironically drawing from Freud was a fucking joke. Yeah. A series of situations that characterize today's society exemplify perfectly this type of superego pressure. Like the endless PC self-examination. Was my glance at the flight attendant too intrusive and sexually offensive? Did I use any words with a possible sexist undertone while addressing her? And so on and so on. The pleasure, thrill even, provided by such self-probing is evident. Wait. What? Okay. Maybe yeah, self-report. Maybe this is maybe this is just me. Maybe this is just me. But I think it is good actually to examine your behavior and ensure that you're not being offensive. The leftist evil of self-reflection, true. I hate that I can't tell if Slavoj Žižek or Jordan Peterson wrote this. Like I actually like if you would have told me like if somebody like edited this and like erased Slavoj Žižek's name and like put Jordan Peterson here, I actually wouldn't be able to tell if it was edited. Okay. And does the same not hold even for the pathological fear some Western liberal leftists have of being counted guilty of Islamophobia? Oh God, we gotta get into fucking 2016 Islamophobia discourse, I guess? Okay. In this telling, any critique of Islam can only be an expression of Western Islamophobia. Salman Rushdie is denounced for unnecessarily provoking Muslims and thus partially at least inviting the fatwa to condemning him to death. The result is predictable. The more the Western liberal leftists probe their guilt, the more they are accused by Muslim fundamentalists of being hypocrites who try to conceal their hatred of Islam. This constellation, again, perfectly reproduces the paradox of the superego. The more you obey what the other demands of you, the guiltier you are. It is as if the more you tolerate Islam, the stronger its pressure on you will be. Okay. This is, okay. Let's talk Islamophobia. Okay, so it is true that sometimes people will interpret criticism of Islam like as a religious like ideology as Islamophobia. That does happen. However, it is also true that a lot of criticism of Islam is not based in actual critique of the religious like ideology itself and is based in racism. Okay? I believe Zizek wrote this purely on the basis that he wouldn't use the word youngsters but little bastards instead. True. The thing is, there is like, it is true that like there are people who will say that like any critique of Islam like as a religious ideology is Islamophobia. But it is also true that a lot of a lot of criticism of Islam is rooted in racism. When we're talking about Islamophobia, a lot of times it is like crossing over into racist territory. People aren't opposed to Islam in a lot of cases because of the actual religious like dogma. They're opposed to it because they hate brown people. I mean, the thing is like Islam is kind of like a religiously like an offshoot of Christianity and of Judaism. Like the those three like share a lot of ideological like history. So a lot of people who that I would like call, yeah, they're all Abrahamic faiths. A lot of people who I would like call Islamophobic are Christians or like some of some like flavor, right? And the thing is, if you actually like get them down to like their beliefs, they don't actually disagree with Islam all that much in terms of the actual like religious in terms of like the actual like religious prescriptions. So then there has to be some other reason that they're like against Islam, right? And when you probe them about this stuff, it usually ends up turning into racist talking points and dog whistles. Islam is a spinoff, Christianity is a sequel. Yeah, well, tomato, tomato. Like as somebody who doesn't have any like I lost my faith years ago. I am an atheist. Not to mention political Islam and political Christianity, yeah. Like there's also like a difference there too between the like political prescriptions that come from members of those like religious groups and the actual like religious prescriptions. All three religions have pretty nice hats. But yeah, why are we like dipping back into like 2016 like edgy atheist discourse? I'm getting flashbacks. This superego structure then explains how and why, in the Telluride case, the majority and the institutional big other were both terrorized by the woke minority. Both terrorized by the woke minority. Because time is a flat circle, true. The good faith criticism would be criticizing the conservatism of religion. Oftentimes it's just racism. Yeah, that's true. I'm generally opposed to theocracy regardless of form. That said, most adherents to a belief don't want a theocracy. Yeah, that's the case. Like I used to consider myself like an anti-theist and I don't anymore. Because like what I realized is that like I'm just anti-theocracy. Most people who are religious aren't like theocrats. That doesn't mean that a lot of them don't like simp for policies that would lead to like theocracy, but like most of them aren't like outwardly like theocratic. I'm 100% opposed to theocracies of any kind. Yeah, like the majority of people are. Be way better if he did the edgy atheist discourse against the literal Christofascists that this article is going to be used by. Yeah, unironically though. I'll take all religions are yucky. I don't know that I agree with that. Theocracy is pretty cringe. True. I don't think that all religions are yucky. Like, I just don't believe in them. I think that like the thing about religion is that like it can be used for like good things and bad things. Like psychologically speaking, like a lot of people get really good things out of religion. It is actually like sometimes bad to advocate against like religious belief if that's providing like comfort. The issue is like when those beliefs lead to like real world harm. So yeah, I don't think that like all religions are bad. I think that like religion has the potential to be good or bad, and it really just depends on how people interact with it. Faith-based communities can do a lot of good. Yeah. Like I'm not like a Christian at all. My grandfather was a like Baptist preacher, and like that man did more good for the world than probably anyone here, especially addressing food insecurity. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of ways that like religions can like help people. That doesn't mean I don't think that like there's that doesn't mean that I don't have like opinions on like certain like religious beliefs. Like obviously like I don't believe in in any of them, but like there's a lot of like good ways that people interact within religious communities that just are good. Faith can do good things for people. Forcing your faith and beliefs on others is what I'm opposed to. Yeah, that's how I am. Frankly, I'm biased because of trauma. Oh, that's fair. Just I mean, at least you acknowledge it. I think it's fine. Like, I think it's fine that like in general, like a lot of people who grew up in like religious institutions are traumatized. Like hell, I grew up in like an ultra conservative like Christian homeschool co-op. That like unironically there was like a lot of like actual shunning, even though that's like it wasn't like called that. That's what actually that was like the thing that happened. Like that honestly was like a traumatizing experience as far as like the ways that people like interact with you, because there was a lot of like social and kind of like psychological abuse in that sphere. My mom and I were talking today about how the Christian idea of forgiveness can be weaponized. That is true. It can be. Another stun lock. Let's finish this because I do have to eventually stop streaming. Let's finish this. Where were we? The superego structure then explains how and why in the Telluride case, the majority and the institutional big other were both terrorized by the woke minority. All of them were exposed to a superego pressure that is far from an authentic call to justice. The black woke elite is fully aware it won't achieve its declared goal of diminishing black oppression, and it doesn't even want that. What they really want is what they are achieving, a position of moral authority from which they may terrorize all others without effectively changing social relations of domination. Now, if this again, like if this was put in the context of like the puritanical progressivist thing, like it would actually like be a little bit salient, but it just comes off like when I hear black woke elite, I want to die inside. Like you can make this argument, the argument that is trying to be made here can be made. It's just you're making it against the wrong people. The criticism seems too broad. Yeah, it's like we're just talking about what, progressivism? Okay. The situation of those terrorized by the woke elite is more complex, but still clear. They submit to woke demands because most of them really are guilty of participating in social domination, but submitting to woke demands offers them an easy way out. You gladly assume your guilt insofar as this enables you to go on living the way you did. It's the old Protestant logic. Do whatever you want, just feel guilty for it. What the fuck are we talking about? Yeah, ban white people from using the word woke. Jesus. Any politician that runs on that is getting my vote. Actually, wait, no. There are some Republicans that would probably run on that. Wokeness effectively stands for its exact opposite. In his interpretation of dreams, Freud reports on a dream dreamt by a father who falls asleep while keeping vigil at his son's coffin. I'm going to be real with you. My eyes are about to glaze over anytime he mentions fucking Freud. Like Freud mentioned, opinion discarded. In this dream, his dead son appears to him, pronouncing the terrible appeal, "Father, can't you see that I am burning?" When the father awakens, he discovers that the cloth on the son's coffin has caught fire from a falling candle. So why did the father awaken? Was it because of the smell? Was it because the smell of the smoke got too strong, so that it was no longer possible to prolong the sleep by way of including it into the improvised dream? Lacan proposes a much more interesting reading. Oh, God. Freud good. I don't know. I don't really have strong opinions. I just like being inflammatory. If the function of the dream is to prolong sleep, if the dream, after all, may come so near to the reality that causes it, can we not say that it might correspond to this reality without emerging from sleep? After all, there is such a thing as somnambulistic activity. The question that arises, and which indeed all Freud's previous indications allow us here to produce, is what is it that awakens the sleeper? Is it not in the dream another reality, the reality that Freud describes, thus das kind? I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. I'm sorry. That the child is near his bed, takes him by the arm, and whispers to him reproachfully, "Father, can't you see that I am burning? Father, can't you see that I am burning?" It's so out of nowhere that he's being used in the article. It's a very clear attempt on Zizek's part at sounding intelligent. Yeah. He wasn't even a psychologist. He was a neurologist. No, it's like that really is it. It's like whenever I see like someone use Freud, it's like immediately my brain turns off because it's like you're just like using Freud to sound intelligent. Is there not more reality in this message than in the noise by which the father also identifies the strange reality of what is happening in the room next door? Is not the missed reality that caused the death of the child expressed in these words? So it wasn't the intrusion of the signal from external reality that awakened the unfortunate father, but the unbearably traumatic character of what he encountered in the dream. Insofar as dreaming means fantasizing in order to avoid confronting the real, the father literally awakened so that he could go on dreaming. The scenario was the following one. When his sleep was disturbed by the smoke, the father quickly constructed a dream which incorporated the disturbing element, smoke fire, in order to prolong his sleep. However, what he confronted in the dream was a trauma of his responsibility for the son's death, much stronger than reality, so he awakened into a reality in order to avoid the real. And it is exactly the same with much of the ongoing woke movement. The woke awaken us to racism and sexism, precisely to enable us to go on sleeping. They show us certain realities so that we can go on ignoring the true roots and depth of our racial and sexual traumas. The true depth being that we allow trans people to exist. Oh no, the tags though. Wokeness, cancel culture, race, gender ideology, transgenderism. Oh my God. Yeah, bro, what? Oh my God. Okay. I'm done with this. That was a bad. I think I'm actually like, congratulations, you just made a Matrix analogy, but tenfold worse. Yeah. There's a 45-minute video I saw someone trying to defend the. Oh no. How do you like? Oh god. I legitimately feel like a dumber person after reading that. Like, holy shit. Okay, I'm done with that. Like, I don't even know if this will be turned into a segment. This was like, I feel like I lost brain cells. I only had 2. So basically, it was fucking weird. The guy was defending Zizek's older takes on this stuff, but criticized this article heavily. I don't recommend it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I timestamped it. I appreciate you, Paco. I almost believe my theory now. That was 5 full servings of work. Yeah, it really fucking, it was just like, how many like intelligent sounding things can I say in one article? Like, I'm not even like that smart. I'll be real with you. Like, I'm pretty stupid. And I read that, and so much of it was like just patently obvious, like the weird ideological leanings that was like coming into this. So like, oh Jesus. All right. So this might actually be the longest stream that I've done. Jesus. Sounded like a shallow person trying to wear the trappings of insightful critique. That is probably the best way of putting it. Like, for real. All right, AI do be transphobic. Yeah, it's got to be AI. AI had to have written that. Like it really reads like an AI wrote it. An AI that has only ever read like Jordan Peterson articles. I really do feel like if you just put Jordan Peterson's name on that, like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They automated the transphobia. Fully automated luxury space transphobia. Well, that's a relief. Proves that AI cannot replace us yet. It could replace Peterson. No, an AI probably could replace Jordan Peterson, honestly. I don't know that I would want an AI to replace Jordan Peterson, though. A lot of it felt too coherent for current Peterson. True. It could have been written by 2016 Peterson. Lobster AI. Oh, thank you, Rosewood. I actually, like, I'm thinking I might need to touch it up soon. I might tomorrow morning put some of the refresh dye in. It's getting a little bit lighter. But yeah, thank you. All right. Been going for 3.5 hours. I am tired. I have to be up early. So if I like how it looks orange in some places. Does it look orange? Like that could be the lighting. Lighting in my room is weird. Has it been that long? Yeah, it has. It has literally been 3.5 hours. So yeah, if so this might actually be like the perfect call if you would like to get in any donations or anything. Now is your chance. A reminder that any donation on the site at transgirltherapist.org will go to me while I'm streaming. So any tiered subscriptions or any donations will go to me. Or you can donate at streamlabs.com/sagealexis/tip. Or you could become a channel member. Like Queen Slut just did. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You can also subscribe on Patreon if you would like. Patreon.com/SageAlexis. There's commands for all of these in the chat. I forgot to send Paco the Nightbot commands. But there are commands for all of them. It's bang Patreon, bang member, and bang donate or dono. Any of those will pop up information/links. Also, I hope you all like the emotes. I'm gonna get more as I go along. I only have the 2 right now. If you're in YouTube chat, you can see these. Those are the 2 that we have right now. There will be more. I will get more. If you're in site chat, there is an emote of mine. You don't have to be a member for, but it's still cute and I like it. Oh yeah, use the wiggler emote. Can we get a wiggler combo? We got 3 little wigglers. You all really like the wigglers. I like the wigglers too, they're cute. Also gotta send some love to Keffels too. Got 7 wigglers. They do be wiggling. It's so good. All right. Yeah, last call for donations. Last call for donations, and then we're gonna have to probably get going. Oh, we got 9 wigglers. Can we get a 10th? Can we get a 10th wiggler? I don't think we're gonna get a 10th wiggler. It's fine. The fact that we got 9 was a terrific feat, given how many failed combos we had over the course of the stream. All right. Well, I hope all of you had fun. Paco's standing in for D in the Shadow. I like the fact that we have a furry emoji. Yeah. Good company to have fun with. Yeah. All right. I love you all. We'll see you maybe next week. Bye-bye.